What is going on, guys? So as you can probably tell from the title of this video, which I have not figured out what I'm going to call it yet, but we are back with another video here, and I'm really hoping that I'm going to be able to keep up and really continue to make these videos, because it's something I love to do, and I've been out of it for nearly a year, and I apologize for that. Been going through some difficult things, and what you guys are probably wanting to know is what's going on with the dogs. Hi, Yoshi. She sneaks around because the sun's too bright. Where's your ball? Where is it? She's sniffing and playing, and she can tell I have a treat in my hand, and she wants to play a game I'm teaching her, which is tracking, basically. So I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna sit on the step, and that way I should be able to see what I'm doing a little bit better, so it's not as glaringly bright. Go on, you. So you guys, and I'm sorry about the background noise, I'm doing this outside today, so you're gonna hear some noise. You guys want to know what's going on with the dogs. So stick around towards the end of the video and I will get into that. First we're gonna give a couple little life updates and everything. The last year, 2 years has not gone the way I wanted it to. Originally, when I came home, I wanted to do filming a week after I got home, 2 weeks after I got home, a month after I got home, and then I wanted to give kind of every 2 weeks to every kind of monthly updates, and that obviously didn't happen. And then there's been a couple times in the last year that I've wanted to give kind of bigger updates, and every time I tried to do the videos, they just didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. And so, I kept saying to myself, you know what, if you don't do the video, you're never gonna do it. So that's what we're doing right now. And she wants me to throw this ball for her. So I'm just sitting down and I'm doing it. I'm not planning it out. This is gonna be a very kind of rough thing here. I'm not planning out what I'm gonna say, because every time I tried, I could not say what I wanted to. And when I did manage to say what I wanted to, the app that I use to edit my videos got updated, and with that update, that kind of surprise update, it deleted all my videos. All the videos I had been in the middle of working on, all erased. So I was quite, as you can probably imagine, upset. I had several videos I was planning on uploading, and they're all gone now. So here we are. And so a couple updates. I have a job now. I work at a restaurant. I'm a server, and started that work in February. So I've been doing that for a couple months now. All right. So what you guys bring it here, all the way. Thank you. What you guys really want to know? What's been going on with the Yoshi dog? What's been going on with the husky dog? So as I kind of mentioned a second ago, they're both doing good. The last video you guys saw was the kind of guide dog at play video I put up. Just Yoshi playing with her balls in the house. That was in December. A lot has changed since December. Miss Yoshi here is no longer working. Miss Yoshi has retired. She retired in early June of this year. You're not getting them. No. Silly puppy. She can smell the treats I have on the chair over there. Yeah, she's no longer a guide dog. She just gets to be a pet, just gets to chill, have fun, and she doesn't work anymore. And And the next follow-up question obviously is going to be why? What happened? Why is she no longer working? So, well, I'm going to explain that as soon as I find where her ball went. There it is. Okay. Yeah, she's no longer a guide dog, and the reason for this is what I kind of, sorry about that, I almost dropped my phone. What I kind of deem as uncorrectable behavioral complications. She loved to work, and she was good at her job. But basically, almost since day one of bringing her home, we just had issue after issue after issue, and the issues just kept kind of building on each other. When we first got home, it was, the first couple of weeks were fine, but then she started to relieve in harness, and we got that managed. It was just a simple matter of adding in another break for another chance for her to go to the bathroom. And then we started having traffic issues, and that scared me. I actually thought that they were going to take her back for a while, not take her back to keep her, but take her back to do some retraining, which would have upset me. It would have been necessary, but it would have made me really sad. So, we had 4 home visits in the just under a year and a half that we worked together. We had a visit in April of 2018 for traffic issues, and we got that resolved. We had a home visit in June of 2018 for kind of traffic, kind of dog-related stuff. Then we had another home visit in, I believe, and again, I apologize for the background, guys. I believe it was October. Yeah, I believe it was late October of 2018. And our final visit was in May of 2019. So, yeah, she just kind of kept having issues. We had pace and pull issues for a while. Never really got that one resolved. It's funny because now that she's retired, she walks like a speed demon. But when she was in harness, nah, she couldn't be bothered to just pick up her pace a little bit. So that was always interesting. That was really frustrating, but it was something that I would have been able to work with. So that wasn't the reason behind her retirement. None of those reasons were the reason behind her retirement. Sorry. So the main reason behind her retirement is, like I said, uncorrectable behavioral issues. Now, when I say uncorrectable, I mean uncorrectable in terms of a guide dog. If I had a trainer that could be with us more frequently, the thing about the schools is that they have hundreds and hundreds of other clients they need to look at, and they have new dogs they need to train for new handlers or returning handlers. So they don't have the time to spend several weeks working with one dog's behavior for one handler. They just don't. It's not feasible. It's not, it's not even financially a good move. So they can't always focus on little things or big things that may or may not be resolvable anyway. Yoshi's behavioral issues, she has become very animal reactive, particularly dog reactive. Occasionally it jumps over into things like squirrels or rabbits or cats. Like if an animal was in the yard here, you would see her hackles along here go up all the way down to her butt, and and you would see her probably run and bark at whatever it is. Now that's kind of a normal thing. Even normal, you know, working guide dogs will do that in their own yard. I mean, it's their yard, and they're kind of like, hey, this is my space, and why are you in it? And so that's not a totally uncommon thing. But the thing is that she was doing this in harness. Not the lunging, not the running, but the hackling and the growling, and depending on the situation, barking. And you can't have that as a handler. You can't have that in public. And I dealt with that for several months. I really started noticing her doing this stuff in probably August is when I started to notice it, of last year, of 2018. And you know, I dealt with it for several months, and by the time December kind of came around, it wasn't looking good. And I was really kind of on the fence with her. And, you know, I kind of asked other handlers for their tips, their advice, and, you know, some just said, you know, just give her back, get a new dog. And then there were some who said, you know, you haven't even been a team for a year yet. Wait a year. I was like, okay. So I waited a month. You know, we were partnered in January. What are you looking at, yo? Hi. Hi. Come here. Hi, babe. You see what I mean? She just wants me to throw her ball for her constantly. Ooh, energy. So yeah, we waited a year, and she wasn't getting any better. The thing was, we were going through periods of good and bad. So something really bad would happen, and then we'd go a month or two without anything happening, and then something bad would really happen, and then nothing would really happen for, you know, a month. And that was kind of the problem, was that sorry, I'm being harassed by buzzing things. The intervals between the events were getting smaller and smaller, and it was really starting to take a hit on my mental health. I was becoming very stressed out, very anxious, very on edge, and towards the very end, I'd say March to May, I started to actually break down and start crying while working her, because it was just what she was doing. I don't consider acceptable for even my pet dogs, and so it was really upsetting to me that I was doing everything I was told. I was working on this, I was being consistent, and it wasn't helping. Nothing I tried, nothing I would do would change her behavior. And when I say she was growling and barking, guys, I don't mean just a little bit. I mean, there was one day in particular I can easily remember where there was another dog around, and we couldn't get away from this dog. Not because it was harassing us, the dog left us alone, but just because of the situation and environment. I'm not going to get into that because I have a feeling a lot of the people on here know my situation, so I'm just not going to get into that. So, you know, it was just a situation we couldn't leave. We couldn't get away from. And for probably an hour or two straight, it was just a process of her growling, me correcting, a minute passing, her growling, me correcting. And we did this for probably an hour to 2 hours. And she just wouldn't stop. And then occasionally there'd be a roar, and she'd start barking. And, you know, it just... one of the final straws that broke the camel's back, to say, she started barking at other guide dogs and other service dogs, and that's not cool. You can't have that. I mean, it's one thing to have that kind of behavior around pet dogs, which is not good either way, but if it's gonna start interfering with other teams, you really just, you can't just think about yourself. You can't be like, well, I love my dog and I don't really care about anyone else. No, that's not fair. So yeah, one of my final straws is that she started barking at my friend's dog, and I could tell it either startled or scared her dog, and that was that was kind of it for me. I was like, you know what, I can't. I tried to very limit her interactions with that other dog. Like, they never interacted, but like limit her exposure to the other dog after that. And she did this in the middle of a coffee shop. She did this in the middle of Tim Hortons, and I never took her back to that Tim Hortons because I was too embarrassed. I was too embarrassed that my dog had just done that in the middle of a store. It was completely random when it would happen. For someone who cannot see what her trigger is and cannot always see or hear what's around us, it appeared completely random. We'd be sitting on the bus doors would open. I would hear nothing. There was no jingle of dog tags. There was nothing, and she would just start barking, just because the bus doors opened. And so I kind of, you know, you have a negative experience and you kind of get a little bit of PTSD from it. And so I started to negatively associate any doors opening with her freaking out, which was not the case. It was completely random. There was probably something out the doors, but I couldn't see what it was, so there was no way of me knowing when or if she would do what she normally did. Nice jump. So anytime bus doors would open, I'd start to stress out. And for a while, I thought it was me. I thought my stress, my anxiety, my frustration was causing her to freak out. And I went to my doctor. I, you know, tried different things. I tried different supplements. I never went on medication because after talking to my doctor, she said, you know, I don't want to put you on medication. You are not severe enough that you should need it. And it's going to cause more issues than it's going to solve if I put you on medication. And I'm like, okay, it's reasonable. So all the minor things I did seem to help. And one thing I did become very aware of is how I felt in any given situation. And there were some times where I was so calm, so relaxed, I was basically falling asleep, and she'd still freak out. So eventually, after a while, I came to figure out it wasn't me. I'm not saying I didn't contribute to it, because I probably most likely did. But I wasn't the cause of it. After speaking with some instructors, we don't think it was aggression. And after doing some of my own research, I'm pretty sure it was reactivity. She was either afraid, or she was, what are you looking at? What are you looking at, girl? She was either afraid of, or nervous of, or overly excited to see other dogs. And she still is on occasion. You know, there's some times where we'll be walking along and you know, she'll want to kind of start reacting the way she did in the past. And when we're actively moving, it was never much of an issue. Occasionally she'd freak out, but usually if we were actively moving, she was fine. It was when we were stopped and we were in a lineup, or, you know, waiting at a down curb or something like that, and she would start to kind of freak out. So because it was taking a hit on my mental health and everything else, and, you know, after speaking with the school for a while, you know, for months, and eventually, you know, they do their best. That's all any of us can do, is we can only do our best. And all their suggestions weren't helping, and all of the suggestions from other handlers weren't helping. Now, there is a couple things that we never did try. And looking back, I kind of wonder why we didn't, but you know what? It wasn't right for her, I guess. Something that some dogs will get. When these kinds of situations arises, they'll get a prong collar. And basically they weren't really wanting to try that with her. I don't know why. It could have made her situation worse. It could have resolved everything. I don't know how she would have reacted, so, you know, I was not keen on the idea of doing the prong collar, although I'm the one who did mention it to them. But if that's what resolved the situation, I would have been okay with that. But we didn't. And like I said, they don't have the time to spend weeks helping one dog for one handler through their issues. Reactivity is something dogs can get through. It's something that can, I don't know if it's trained out of them. I haven't looked that far into it, but they can cope with it. And it's something that, you know, they don't have the resources to help with, which is understandable when you think about the grand scheme of things. Something that is often said in the guide dog community, and might be even said in the service dog community at large, is that when, you know, working your dog is supposed to be, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be, you know, I wouldn't necessarily say like exciting, but it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to enhance your independence. So when having the dog starts hindering your independence, when it becomes more stressful working a dog than not, you want to consider either not having a dog or getting a new dog. So in the end, the decision is up to me. I own her. You know, the school, from what I can tell, was still willing to support me if I had wanted to continue working her. Her guide work was fine. As a guide dog, she was good. Yes, she was. Yes, she was. Wrong way. But it was just the behavioral thing. And there was no break from it. It was 24/7. She reacted that way in the house. I mean, just before I even started the video, I was upstairs just kind of chilling on my bed. You know, I was tired. Stayed up to 4 in the morning last night. And, my other dog comes running up the stairs, and Yoshi has mixed reactions when this happens. Her reaction this time was to jump up from my bed, jump off the bed, whilst barking crazily and kind of going towards the door. Well, yeah, she got herself a correction for that, because I don't tolerate that. So, yeah. You know, just because she's not working, it's not over. She still does what she did. You know, retiring her was not an end-all, fix-all. She still has issues, and we're working through them. And sometimes I feel like she's getting better, and then sometimes, like today, I'm like, where did that come from? Pent up energy, probably. So we've taken it day by day, getting things figured out. So yeah, basically we did a kind of a trial period for a month with her, where I would rate every single day on a scale from 1 to 10. 10 being it was the best day ever, and 1 being it was the absolute worst. I hate my life, basically. And we did this over a month, and each week I would do can't even think of what that word is. You know, you'd average it every week, and then I averaged it over the whole month. And basically the overall trend was that over 4 weeks, her behavior and my happiness with our partnership was getting worse and worse. So, yeah. In the end, the decision was up to me to retire her, and I held off for a while. Eventually, like I mentioned earlier in the video, an instructor came out in May and kind of worked with us and got to see her work, and for once they actually got to see her react to other dogs. It was amazing. Because the other 2 times that an instructor came out to work with us on her dog reactivity issues, she never showed her stuff, which is it's a very common thing among guide dogs. Like, hey, an instructor's around, I better behave. So, and that's what basically happened. So this time she actually showed her stuff. They actually got to see what she was doing. It was good. Sucked, but it was good. And we had a very, very good discussion on retirement and what that would look like and what was going on with her. And the end conclusion was that the instructor said, you know, you can work her for a couple more weeks, couple more months, you know, in the end it is up to you. And see, because it was spring, so it wasn't quite summer yet, and she said, you can see how she'll do. Because the temperature's heating up, there should be more dogs out, and you can see if she gets better or worse. And in the end, I was just tired. I was exhausted. And so probably about a week after the instructor left, I called it, and I started to wean her off coming with me. And that was one of the most painful things I've ever done in my life. Hi, Yoshi. And I'll talk about that in a different video, but it was not easy. Early June was when she was retired. I believe her last trip, from what I can remember, I believe her last trip was a trip to Costco. And it was kind of funny, and it was kind of sad because a lady approached us, and she was very, very nice, and she's like, you have a beautiful dog, and I'm like, thank you. And she handed me her card, and she's like, you know, I'm a groomer. I groom police dogs, and I groom other, like, working dogs. And I was like, thank you. And she's like, just give me a call. And I'm like, oh, but she's, you know, like, in my head I was saying, she's not working anymore. Like, this is her last trip. And I'm pretty sure that was her last trip. I can't remember taking her anywhere else after that. So, yeah. She's worn her harness since then, just as kind of like nostalgic kind of thing. And she knows what it is, and she's like, hey, that's mine. But you know, she doesn't show interest anymore, and it's been hanging up on the back of my bedroom door for months now, or I guess for weeks. It hasn't really technically been months, so you know, weeks, months, and that's all that's been happening. And as you can tell, she's constantly always ready to chase a ball. So, yep, Yoshi is done. She's no longer a guide dog. I will make another video soon-ish. I might record it today, I might record it later, I don't know. I have to edit this video, obviously. I will make another video on retirement and what that's going to look like for her and what's happening. There will be a couple videos on what's going on in the future. Will I get a second guide dog? She like looks at me like, what? You guys saw that like little look up when I said that? She's like, hey, what's up with that? A second guide dog? What am I, chopped liver? look at her face. Poor Yoshi. But yeah, she's taken to just chilling pretty good. So there will be other videos coming out. So do stay tuned for that. You want to be notified? Hit the bell icons and subscribe, because there will be more videos coming out relatively soon here on channel updates, on life updates, on guide dog updates, right, Yoshi? Guide dog updates. And like I said, I do plan on doing a whole video on retirement. I'm trying to not mention anything about that in this video, just so it's all kind of new for the next video. But yeah, that's the biggest update. Yoshi is no longer working. I am back to using a cane, and it sucks. It really, really sucks. And in my next kind of retirement video, I will put up some pictures I took of the process of retiring her, and I'll get a lot more in depth on what it was like, what it is like, and yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please hit that beautiful thumbs up button at the bottom of the video here, and like I said, if you want to be alerted for any future videos, hit a subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and go check out our other videos. You'll see our training videos there if you are new to the channel. You can check those out. And that's all we got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it was kind of dry, kind of bland. I tried to get her to play a little bit, but as you can tell, if you're not playing with her, like, I don't know where her ball is, but it's somewhere there. Oh, there it is. There's her ball. And yes, I'm wearing my dad's Crocs. Yeah. If you're not actively playing with her, she kind of just sits there. She's like, whatever, man. I'll just wait. So, and the sun is slowly creeping around, so it's probably been half an hour to an hour of me doing this. So I need to go and live life a little bit, which implies editing this video. So, hope you guys enjoyed. We will be back soon, right, Yoshi? Can you say goodbye? Say bye! Okay. See you guys later.